Om. 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 Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Namaskar. Good evening to everyone. We are meeting in a physical format after a very long time for this Vimarsh talk, and we hope to resume this. In fact, today is an important occasion, and we are resuming it in a physical format. Of course, some have joined in the virtual format also, so we are getting used to this hybrid format, and I think we're all becoming hybridized in the process. But thank you very much for joining us today. And it's a great pleasure for me to welcome you all to this Vimash talk. And I can see our regulars are here. And it's a great pleasure to be with you once again. And today we are talking on water security for India. And we have a very eminent and distinguished speaker, Shri Bharat, who is with us today. He is the Director General of the National Center for Good Governance, Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances. A senior civil servant, he joined the Indian Administrative Service in 1988 and has occupied several senior positions both in the state government in Gujarat and also in the central government. He has a vast experience of policy making at the highest levels on a variety of national and international issues. He has worked in the government's core team, which was managing the COVID-19 crisis. So he has the experience of dealing with an extremely important crisis in our country. His work in Gujarat in setting up the Water and Sanitation Management Organization, also known as WASMO, in 2002, after the earthquake, has won him several laurels, including the Prime Minister's Civil Service Award, as well as the coveted United Nations Public Servant Award. So he is a very distinguished person, civil servant. He also conceptualized the Chiranjeevi Yojana, which was universalized under the National Rural Health Mission. And that has had a deep impact on the infant mortality rate, IMR, and also the MMR vaccine program. Shri Bharat has worked with Narendra Modi ji since 2001. And during 2017 to 19, he was also the additional secretary to the President, Ramnath Kovind ji. He was the founder mission director of Jal Jeevan Mission, which was launched in 2019. And the mission aims at providing clean tap water to every household and public institution in the country by 2024. Actually, he has dealt with many other issues, and I'm not, he's a very distinguished career and a profile. So I'm very grateful to you, sir, for joining us today and accepting our invitation to talk at the Vimash platform. Dear friends, it's no exaggeration to say that we are facing an acute water crisis in the country. And I had requested our colleague Hina in the foundation to give me some headline figures, and she has produced some very telling data, which I'll just mention a few of them. According to her research, more than 600 million people are facing acute water shortage in the country. The per capita availability of water has come down from 1,000 cubic meter from 5,000 cubic meters in 1947. And if I remember correctly, I think this is roughly the level at which we can call ourselves a stressed country, water stressed country. Climate change and extreme weather events have created a deep uncertainty on the water situation in the country, water availability, the unevenness about the availability of water. So many issues are arising as a result of the climate change. India is ranked 120th amongst 122 countries in the Water Quality Index. I'm not very sure how reliable this index is, but it does say that we are in a difficult situation. It is estimated that India's water demand will exceed the supply by a factor of 2 by 2030. I think this is a Niti Aayog figure, if I'm not mistaken. 40% of the population will have no access to drinking water by 2030. Major cities are running out of groundwater. Indian rivers are highly polluted. Critical groundwater resources, which account for 40% of water supply, are being depleted at an unsustainable rate. In fact, we are now taking to water mining. This is what some experts say. Clearly, we have to act now to rescue the country from water crisis. And it's a matter of satisfaction that in the recent years, the gravity of the situation has been understood and a number of steps have been initiated very recently. The launch of important programs like Jal Jeevan Mission, Atal Bhujal Yojana, Jal Shakti Abhiyan, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Vikas Yojana are some of the steps in that direction. Now, how effective are these steps? What is the future? I think we have to start thinking about it, and it is think tank like the VIF, where we look at the strategic issues facing the country, and we have a very strong group now on climate change related issues. It's quite clear to us that water security is emerging as a major issue for us. And no one is better placed than Shri Bharat Lal, who has been at the center of conceptualization and implementation of many of the schemes that I said, and many more, to tell us how India is dealing with the acute water security crisis or security crisis that we are facing today. A number of these challenges are related to governance, policy, and its implementation, are also the participation of communities, which is also a very important aspect of dealing with this situation. As the Director General of National Center for Good Governance, which deals with much wider aspect of governance, I think he is very well placed to tell us about this issue, and his views are extremely valuable to us. So we look forward to an educated and informative talk today. So I request now Bharat Lalji to kindly take the floor. Thank you, sir. Thanks, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your kind words and the kind of introduction you gave. Actually, I don't deserve it, but nevertheless, sir, I'm grateful. And let me say a few things before I start. I think everybody sitting here in the hall and people who are online, actually. I think they are all very distinguished people, much more knowledgeable, much more insightful, much more experienced than me. So what I'm going to do is basically whatever I have learned from people like you only, I would like to put up to here today. And idea is that we should try to see it, that how scarcity of water can impact, in the past has impacted, the quality of life, socioeconomic development, and economic growth. Especially a country like India, where almost 40% of our land is basically falls in arid or semi-arid region, uh, where basically still in 2019, that only 17% rural population had assured clean tap water supply. Where basically there are many states, especially in Western India and part of Southern India, including Bundelkhand, UP, where basically administration, state government for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months are busy basically providing drinking water through tanker. In Gujarat, I have seen, it was my fortune or misfortune, I don't know, but we used to deploy trains to supply water, to rural population as well as urban. Like in Rajkot city, for 20 minutes in 1 week, water supply, that was more than sufficient actually. I mean, while coming, this thing, I was remembering that in 1999, precisely on 14 December, there is a dam in Jamnagar district, and their administration decided that water will be reserved for rural people, but as well as people living in Jamnagar city. That led to demonstration, that led to police firing, that led to death of 3 people, 3 farmers. Imagine though we talk about water war and all those things, that's a big thing, but at a smaller scale. Imagine in 1999, for basically water, whether the village people should get or the city people should get. For that, agitation became uncontrollable, led to police firing, led to violence, and 3 farmers died. And imagine a country like ours, if 3 people die in police firing, what kind of situation would be? So, what I propose to do is, I'll try to give a national perspective about scarcity, what kind of impact it has. I would like to give 1 or 2 examples how it has been tackled at different level, and then national level what is being done. And probably there lies the story that the kind of place India commands today. I think in global south and many parts of the world, we can share those things basically for the larger good of the society. So as you know that in 2000, let's say 1947, let's go back to 1947. Our average expectancy of life, 32 years. 32 years, 36 crore population. After partition, the challenges, you know better than me. And paucity of food grain, shortage of food grain, I think it became very evident. So it means the focus was food security. In coming decades, food security became one of the major focal point when we see it from water management angle. And as you all know, PL 480, mid 60s, and after that Green Revolution and all those stories. But today, that time, I think some 32 million tons food grain, today 320 million food grains. So I think we have achieved food security to a very large extent. But so the second point is at that time, average life span, 32 years. Today we have got around 71 and a half years. So if we see the per capita fresh water availability, that is one of the indicators when basically we can see the progress. We can also see the challenge. In 1951, per capita fresh water availability was 5,177 cubic meter. 5,177 cubic meter in 1947. which came down to 2014 to something around 1,508 cubic meter, almost one third, more than 30% actually. And it is expected that in 2024, the estimation is, the projection is 1465 cubic meter, which is projected in 2050. It is 1235. And context is that if per capita freshwater availability comes down below 1100 cubic meter, then that region, whether it's a district or a state or country or continent, it becomes water stressed district, which means your socio-economic development, your activity, everything gets adversely impacted. Yes, somebody can say, yes, take Israel, per freshwater per capita availability was very low. But I think there is a lesson that they did something, there is a learning, and they did not allow shortage of water, paucity of water to become a limiting factor in their socio-economic development, economic growth. So this is one area basically which we have to keep in mind, that per capita freshwater availability in India is basically very critical actually. It is reaching to almost same kind of situation. If better management, better policy, better strategy, better implementation is not done, I think that brought some kind of sense of urgency. Second, as Dr. Gupta has explained, actually, I come from Gujarat, I have worked there. And from 2001 or 2, I have been working off and on in water sector, actually. So in 2002, let's go back a little bit early. In 1999-2000, the GSDP growth of Gujarat was only 1.02%. 1999, 2000, Gujarat growth was 1.02%. Next year, 2001, it became minus 4.89%. 1.02%. Next year, minus 4.89%. Yes, there was a context that on 26 January 2001, the state was affected by devastating earthquake, which we have witnessed yesterday in Turkey and Syria and all those places. I think we lost around 20,000 people. But 26 January, it means last 2 months were affected. So one can very easily see that how our economic growth was impacted going down. If you take 5 years, 2007 to 1997 to 2002, it was only 2.8%. And still today, India, when we are talking about 6, 7, 8, 9% growth, even we are not satisfied. We aspire to, and we try to, that it should be double digit or maybe 8% plus, something like that. The point I'm trying to make is, at that time, more than 10,000 road tankers and 2 train rakes were deployed to transport water to different parts of Saurashtra, basically. To Saurashtra. 8 to 10 months, the administration, the whole government, every week there will be a meeting taken by Honorable Chief Minister, and this thing, what is the scarcity management plan, what is the water deployment, water, fodder, and create some kind of work opportunity. And basically, not in negative sense, but it amounts to digging and digging and digging soil. Not very productive asset, basically. Just create this kind of opportunity to people. There were 3 districts: Jamnagar, Kutch, and 1 more district. Since 1971 census, population going down. Forget about 1% or 2% of plus replacement or decadal growth. Population was going down because people were migrating out of that to those cities. So, sir, you have to see, if you find out the one factor, the critical factor for this kind of situation, it was scarcity of water. Same Gujaratis are today, which were there at that time. It's not like that whole population has changed. It doesn't mean that skilling or education had drastically changed or the white But one factor, and imagine those time your economic growth 2.5%, 3%. 2002 onward, last 20 years, 2 decades, Gujarat has clocked double-digit economic growth repeatedly, year after year. Even when Honorable Prime Minister left Gujarat, as after becoming Prime Minister, even then today, last year it was 13%. That kind of economic growth is taking place, in Gujarat. So I think there is a need to understand. There is a need to understand. Outside example, yes, there is example of Israel. That despite no water today, I think Galilee Sea and everything they are filling with sweet water. But in this country, which is located in western part, arid, semi-arid, 70% arid or desert area, and it is basically having double-digit growth for 2 decades. I think there is something to learn. And if we see the geographical, distribution of this country about edapoclimic condition, see Bundelkhand region, UP and Madhya Pradesh, 13 districts, southern Mewat region of Haryana, almost whole of Rajasthan, Gujarat, Vidarbha, Marathwada, go to Karnataka, North Karnataka, especially Bidar, and go to Telangana, go to Andhra Pradesh, part of Tamil Nadu, part of Madhya Pradesh, part of even Bihar actually. Most of us basically identify Bihar with floods, basically not Bihar flood, but southern Bihar, we know that the kind of drought-like situation is there. So in all these are part of West Bengal actually, So I think most of the places, paucity of water is basically impacting our socio-economic development. And that's how, and that's why I think water management becomes critical if we have to achieve a reasonable socio-economic development so that we are able to take out, vast majority of people, vast number of people out of poverty. I think there is no choice actually, for this country. And in the next few minutes, I would like to dwell how it has been achieved actually. How it has been achieved. In Gujarat, most of you must have heard that, let's say 20 years back or 15 years back, you will listen, scarcity of water, tanker, fights, all those kind of. You go there, best of the time, even during monsoon, half an hour in 2 days or 3 days supply of water, that kind of situation. And people like when we went as a professional in 90s, actually, we saw that, in Saurashtra and part of, because they won't take bath actually for a number of days, actually. There is no water. And watercolor, nobody understood that, water can be this kind of, transparent, no color, no. Because of salinity, water will be milky. Water will be milky. So I think this country, there is a case where basically this crisis has been handled. It has shown the way and what we can learn, and rather what country has learned. And after 2014, what kind of policies and programs are being implemented to achieve water security? We all have seen the southern states, they keep on, river water sharing, and every now and then it's flares up. So it means everybody realizes that there is a crisis, there is a problem, and there is a need. So let me go back to Gujarat. What basically was done, and just point out 3-4 things. I'll not go into much detail. First thing was that everybody realized that, in fact, everyone knows that there is no alternative to transfer of water, inter-basin transfer. Somewhere you have floods, somewhere you have droughts. So time immemorial, whether this Yamuna Canal in 1400 and 1500, that 14th, 15th, 16th century, or today if you see from different dams through canals. So water transfer, inter-basin transfer is very accepted mode of management. There's nothing, that is something very new. And I think people have to accept it and people have to move forward. So in Gujarat also, because southern Gujarat is having forest and catchment area is part of Madhya Pradesh, Narmada Basin. So it has plenty of water. So idea was that collect this water, but imagine one dam It took 40 years to complete. And that took basically fierce determination from then Chief Minister, then Honorable Chief Minister Mr. Narendra Modi, to fight it out that this dam must be completed. Because if a dam is not complete, basically it's next to impossible to supply water in Saurashtra, Kutch and North Gujarat. In fact, in this kind of close gathering, I have no hesitation in admitting that in 1999-2000, the discussion was that 3 towns from Saurashtra, in Saurashtra basically, evacuation plan has to be made because there's not going to be water. Imagine if police firing is taking place on 14 December and next 6 months it is still there. You can visualize, that everybody is struggling that how you are going to supply water. And I'll request all of you that you just Google it, this incidents. You will find out that what kind of context was there. That people were afraid that even December, January, February, March onward will not have any water. And we have no choice except, evacuate these villages and these towns, that kind of thing. So first thing was that, yes, Sardar Sarovar Dam has to be completed. Of course, it took 40 years. And I think it was what Honorable Prime Minister keeps on saying, that it was my good fortune that, it's a good thing I have to do it. It's a fact that it could get completed in 2017 and after, but it made major role in bringing water security. The second thing was that most important was that basically instead of water remains a subject of government official and government department, the effort was made that it should become everyone's business. What it means that rainwater harvesting, storage of water, and judicious use. Until and unless everybody doesn't get involved, I think you can't achieve water security. Especially, I have not mentioned, but in Saurashtra, Kutch and North Gujarat, it is already below 800 cubic meter per capita of freshwater well. It is below 800 cubic meter. That's why it is arid zone. That's why it's a desert area, actually. So in these regions, basically, idea was that you have a rain. You have to collect it, store it. And the slogan then Chief Minister gave is that Ghar ka pani ghar mein, khet ka pani khet mein, gaon ka pani gaon mein. That wherever it falls, just catch this water, store it. And second thing was done that anybody, it's not only the monopoly of the government. It's not only the monopoly of government that water conservation or water related work has to be done. It has to be done by government. No. The concept was introduced that if farmers or anybody want to construct check dam or water harvesting structure or water storage structure, please do it. And what government is going to spend here through government agencies, the money will be given to you, use excellently. And in fact, a beautiful scheme was launched actually, Sardar Patel's Sahbagi Jal Sanchay Yojana, means water conservation and water structure, where 70% of the cost was given to farmers. And they will construct the check dam. Imagine, no issue of land acquisition. They are constructing. Their farm will be benefited. Groundwater will be benefited. And you are getting the structure made by just 70% of the fund, public fund. So it was a win-win-win for everybody, actually. And every year they will keep on strengthening and removing, silt and strength, so storage is, So the first thing was after Sardar Sarovar Dam, this thing. Second was that make water everyone business, and especially people should be encouraged to go into rainwater harvesting structure, like well recharge structure. Everywhere you will go in Saurashtra and Kutch, you will find there are small wells actually. So during monsoon, you have a filtration process and then recharge the well. It became a people's business actually. They will be doing that part. Thirdly, during floods, during monsoon, most of the water goes into Arabian Sea and that part. If you can divert that water, flood water, to this parched land, have a structure which is basically a recharge structure. So what is called actually Sujlam Suflam Canal. Basically a recharge canal, Kacha Canal, where basically flood water is diverted from going to sea, to waste, to North Gujarat, and basically allowed this water to percolate. So water table has to rise, because as Dr. Gupta mentioned that water mining in Punjab, we all know that water table has gone to 1200 to 1500 feet. And imagine the energy and the kind of thing. Same thing was here in Mehsana. Those days in North Gujarat, water table was at least 12 to 1300 feet or more. So basically, idea was that recharge. Kacha canal, water is coming and just filling all the ponds and lakes and reservoirs and recharging the So water table started rising. The impact was that every year 3 to 8 meter water table was going down in Gujarat during those days. But in five days, roughly 6 years, 2008 exactly, this trend was reversed. Out of 226 blocks, except 12, 13 blocks, every block water table started rising. In whole of Gujarat, except 12 to 16 blocks, I don't remember the exact figure, water table started rising. Why? Because recharge and recharge and recharge. As we all know that this August gathering, that in modern time, it is next to impossible to construct a big dam because of anthropogenic or environmental factors. Next to impossible. So what is the way forward? That existing reservoir, if you desilt it, strengthen it, transfer water, store it. That is the interlinking. And we have given the name is Sauni Yojana. That flood water is basically transferred to 100 plus reservoirs in North Gujarat, Saurashtra and Kutch, where those days only 24% of its capacity used to get filled. 24% only. Imagine such capital investment going to waste. So are transferring water and ensuring that not only it gets filled, but overflows take place. And suppose it overflows twice in monsoon season. Imagine water is going to last for whole year almost whole year. So imagine a situation where 15 years back in Saurashtra, same Jamnagar, police firing takes place and 3 people dies for water. Now today, plenty of water is there, the reservoir is overflowing. Then fourth thing was that water sector restructuring. That is that policy reform, so that at every level there is accountability. So there is a Sardar Sarovar Development Corporation, which is basically making capital investment, recovering this money and have a long-term plan. Then for water supply, we created 3 institutions, what called Gujarat Water Infrastructure Company Limited, which basically takes this big pipeline and infrastructure, water transfer treatment plant, that kind of thing. And one agency was Gujarat Water Supply and Sewerage Board, basically which supplies water to different municipalities and village panchayat. So like at micro level, every level there is accountability, there is a measurement, how much water is going and somebody has to pay for it. So this culture of accountability was brought. And third, what Dr. Gupta mentioned, actually, wonderful institution, Water and Sanitation Management Organization, WASMO. This institution is basically under 73rd Amendment Act, water and sanitation has been transferred to panchayats, basically there, sir. So basically you have to handhold those people that they are able to manage water supply and sanitation, because there is a paucity of knowledge, there is a skill set, low people are not there. So this organization started hand-holding people basically in ensuring management, in ensuring hand-holding, in ensuring that modern principle of public health engineering, modern principle of public utilities are applied, and basically every village is going to become a kind of public utility. Receiving raw water, treating it, supplying to every household, ensuring service delivery, attending public grievance, collecting water tariff or water service charges, operating, maintaining. So it means this village panchayat or its subcommittee, what we call Pani Samiti, it start behaving and working like a public utility. That was the concept which was introduced in 2002. I think one of the very successful model that in Gujarat today, you go there, every household is having tap water supply. Every household in rural area, go to remote area, every household is having tap water supply. That kind of, as you must have heard, the integrated approach means wherever water is available, groundwater is there, please supply water, this thing. If it is not there, bring from long distance, treat it, transfer it to supply. But third thing was that use of technology and some kind of innovation. As you all might be knowing that in iron and steel industry, cement industry, a lot of waste energy is generated because they get heat up and you have to cool down. So basically concept was that seawater should be used in cooling down the tars, and basically from evaporation you are collecting distilled water. Mix this distilled water with saline water and then supply to people. It's a win-win for everybody. You know, that industry, whether it's a refinery or cement industry or steel industry, pipe making or any kind of industry. So if it has some kind of need for cooling, use seawater, collect distilled water, mix it with the normal saline water, use it, supply it. I mean, this is one innovation. You must have heard, a lot of desalination plants were taken on coast that treat it, but yes, cost is very high. Production cost, guys, say energy and membrane. So it comes even today also roughly 40 rupees, 38 to 40 rupees per kiloliter for 1000 liter. So it's a slightly costly, whereas other supplies is between 10 rupees to 25 rupees per kiloliter. So it has to be, better. But more importantly, all these initiatives, it brought the kind of investment on people and understanding that people started using these opportunities to understand nuances of water. And one or two examples I'll give you. When we export, let me start with somewhere. Imagine there are many drought-prone regions where dams have been constructed in Western India, and you go there and you'll find that people are growing sugarcane, highly water-intensive crop. What happens? What is the economics basically? You put a graft for 3 years, every year you keep on cutting it. Somebody will subsidize it. It will go to sugar mill. Sugar is produced. It will be subsidized. It will go to PDS. It will go to shop everywhere. It will be subsidized. You and me will eat it. We develop diabetes and other diseases. Our treatment will be subsidized. Our treatment will be subsidized. After that, I don't talk that crematoria, even our last rite is also subsidized. See, the point is that the kind of economics we practice, if we develop that kind of understanding, that if we are growing any crop, when we export 1 kg rice, it means basmati rice, we are exporting 1800 liter of water. When we export 1 kg of basmati rice, you might be earning 100 rupees, 200 rupees, 300, 400 rupees, whatever you earn, I don't know. Essentially, you are exporting 1800 liter of water. Slightly uncomfortable subject. We all are sitting here. Just imagine, just visualize. What happened to our excreta? In 24 hours, we produce 200, 300, 400 grams of human excreta, fecal matter. Just think about it, how it is disposed of. Just kindly think over it. First and foremost thing, that from here, it has to be transported through gravity to 20, 30, 40 kilometer away, Okhla area. Imagine, this much solid material by gravity, it is transported. This is the technological advance we have made after even. As a student, I have been hearing that this kind of technology was available in Indus Valley civilization. I keep on hearing that, yes, it started in Germany, Hamburg, and so many so forth. But even if we presume that it is a 115-year-old, 115-year-old technology, sewerage system, basically what? The energy efficiency is, system efficiency is like this, that 200 to 400 gram of human fecal matter first to be transported by using 100 plus liter of water. Then it goes somewhere. It has to be treated, semi-treated, untreated, and then released. And this 100 liter water, 110 liter basically, nobody bothers that how much we are going to recover water. This is our management. Nobody thinks about that. Today, technology available in aeroplane, your and my fecal matter gets collected by 100 ml or 150 ml of water. In Vande Bharat and so many trains, it gets collected with very small quantity of water. There is technology available that combustion and all those things can be done. Suppose you visualize a technological scenario that if in an apartment, a vertical, this all toilets are everywhere, fixed position. Use suction, use a small quantity of water, collect your fecal matter, everything. It requires hardly 1 liter, 2 liter water. Disinfect it, remove odor, smell, bad smell, whatever it is, put into combustion, produce gas, produce energy. After that, whatever is left, it is a dry cake, nothing. But imagine, instead of making 110 liter, whatever, of paste, you are going to do 1 liter or 1.5 liter or 2 liter. And rest of the water which you are forcibly putting into your toilet and sewer line, that water can be segregated and collected, whether it's a bathroom or kitchen or washing, bathing, and this thing. That water, remove soap, treat it, disinfect it, use in your garden, and this thing. So it means almost 80% water which is supplied to our apartment, it can be retrieved, it can be collected, it can be treated and reused. So my hypothesis is that this is one sector. Another example I'll give, agriculture. 4 or 5 crops. I mean, if you talk about agriculture reform bills, I think everybody understands. Whether there is a market or not, I have decided that I'll grow this crop, and government is forced to purchase it. You store it, use it, whatever you don't, I'm not concerned. And imagine we are not responding to market. That whatever is product is needed, we should know this thing. What are the most popular crops we are raising? Is a paddy, sugarcane, banana. I mean, all water intensive, crops. Whether we need it or we don't need it, actually, there might be so many, let's say, oil seeds and protein and other soybeans and all those things. We might not be raising. We are not interested in raising that. So it means there's a lack of management. There's a lack of intensive management, lack of new technology, relevant technologies. And more urbanization is taking place. Just imagine, per capita water consumption is going up and up. Per capita, sewerage water, grey water or dark water, black water, it is going to increase and increase and increase. So I think we have to see this challenge that water management, water practices, it has to be, day-to-day life, it has to be brought those kind of technology, and people like you, they have to start thinking and talking about water management. Then only we can ensure water security. If in a year people are struggling for water, I mean, just think about it in a lighter way, what it reflects. I call it business of insecurity. At my home, the tap water comes. The supplier will say that we have, and genuinely, they have tested that water before putting in pipeline. So they test the water. It conforms to BIS quality and all those things, right? BIS 10,500. But when it comes to my tap, I'm not very sure about its quality. I develop this fear that I need clean water, potable water, safe water. What I do? I put a RO plant or some filtration. So water which goes into that plant, I'm not sure about its quality input. But whatever comes out, even I'm not sure about that also, but we have confidence that this water is potable. We can drink it. Same thing is here. Neither you nor me, we have not seen that this water is basically potable or not. You don't dare to offer me that plain water. Here, at least in Vivekananda International Foundation, they have offered this water. So you have that confidence. But imagine this lack of, trust, lack of confidence. And imagine, I'll give you another example in power supply. Because of this fear, we used to put voltage stabilizer. There will be input voltage and output voltage you can see. Imagine in today's time, if we force manufacturer that on your plant, just put one small display, sensor based, that these 5-10 parameters should be displayed. What is the input? What is the output? You might come to the conclusion that, well, we don't need You don't need RO at all, actually. Maybe it also puts pressure on suppliers that water quality should be checked at the delivery point in your tap, in your household. In your tap, in your household. Then we can demand that kind of services. I should get clean tap water with pressure, with quality, quantity, regularity, So, and for this, I think it's very easy. In fact, when I was in Jal Jeevan Mission, actually, we launched one grand challenge. The challenge was that investors should develop those kind of sensor to measure and monitor, let's say TDS, pH, nitrate, hardness, all those things. And this data should be transferred, and they develop that kind of, now it's being deployed actually, that's not time, otherwise I would have shown you. That data is directly collected and it comes on dashboard. Imagine if this device is there, you put in your tap. You can see and the data can, your grievance can go to, supplier that my quality of water is not conforming to this thing. The limited point I'm trying to make is that kind of management. These are the possibilities. It's not like, if any of us go to Israel or any other country, they have already doing. You go and see your, In fact, in Uttarakhand and Himachal, I got it done actually. That all these routes, people are taking water, this bottled water. Everywhere put this water tap and provision and put a display, sensor-based display. That TV screen is there. You can see the quality of water. So it is conforming. It's your choice whether you take it or you want to carry water bottle. So I think it's possible, it's doable. But let me come back to original theme that if you have to achieve water security, it means we all have to understand that, which we have been studying since primary school, that there is something called water cycle. It means whatever water falls, evaporate, goes to cloud, comes back. After coming back, it means it collected and stored. So collected and stored means your surface has to be clean. Very basic. And imagine if country and people, they are habituated in defecating in open, anywhere and everywhere. You can't keep your surface clean. Next to impossible to collect your water clean. How much you treat it. It means if you want to achieve water security, if you want to collect water, if you want to store water, the first and foremost requisite is that country must become non-negotiable, must become open defecation free. Surface has to be clean. If surface is not clean, trust me, next to impossible. You keep on treating, end of the day, the fecal matter will come and those bacteria, those viruses, everything will come in one way or the other. And that's why, and that's how Honorable Prime Minister was in 2014. Imagine from rampart of Red Fort talking about Swachh Bharat mission, making India open defecation free. So this was part of that strategy, that first we have to clean up this thing. First, we have to stop open defecation free. First, we have to have improved sanitation. Then only we can talk about water security. This was the first step. And second step was immediately that let's focus on river. And Ganga River was taken up for its rejuvenation, for making. So part of the same strategy, that first, because largest river, more than 550 million people dependent on in that command area. So I think this was the approach, that first let's have stop open defecation free, solid waste liquid management that should be taken, grey water should be collected, treated, so that our river system, they should not get destroyed, our lakes, our ponds, and So first step is making country open defecation free. Second was just start with one river, rejuvenate one river. Ganga river is, of course, we talk about that is water you can drink, but end of the day, this water should be so clean that you are able to take even bath. Actually, in our civilization, our culture, taking bath in Ganga is something very, 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 very pious and very, So I think this effort was made. And third thing, after 5 years, when reasonably country became open defecation free on 2nd October 2019, when we were celebrating 150th birthday of Mahatma Gandhi. After that, elections and new government was formed. And the next step was that unifying water-related subjects and ministries or department under single umbrella. And that's how Ministry of Jal Shakti was born on 30th May 2019. That this fragmentation should be, let's bring all subject, whether it's a river pollution or it's a supply side, a demand side, a project, bring everything under single umbrella. And next two steps were taken. The first was what you call Jal Shakti Abhiyan, make water everyone's business. Rainwater harvesting, artificial recharge. So make water everyone's business, and a massive campaign should be launched. And it was launched on 256 districts, which are basically water stress districts, where per capita freshwater availability was less than 1,000 cubic meter. So in 2019, the Jal Shakti Abhiyan was launched. And on 15th August 2019, Jal Jeevan Mission was launched. Jal Jeevan Mission is all about ensuring clean water to everyone. See, let's try to see it. In fact, last week, I was going through certain data. Today, women participation in workforce is 19%. Just imagine that if we are able to ensure tap water at home, all these facilities. So these women, these girls, they have now spare time because primarily it is their responsibility to fetch water from long distance. So this time they can use in whether in education or skilling or productive work. It means if you want to double the family income, if you want to, so that per capita income goes up, this is the lowest possible hanging fruit is available with us. That more and more women join workforce. And to ensure that, it means you have to have that enabling environment. That at least water supply, at least toilet. Imagine that for toilet, they have to walk 500 meter or 1 kilometer for only, So if they had at home, it means they have this time to use be productive. Similarly, for fetching water, if for 2 buckets of water, they have to walk for 500 meters instead of they are having their, this thing, it means they have now time. This time can be used in productive way. It means their contribution in economy can be transformational. And Jal Jeevan Mission is focusing on that. The basic premise is that not only public health or IMR and AMR and other, you are also going to bring a fundamental change in basically the way family are managing their resource and economy and everything. It means you can ensure that more time is available with women to join workforce, to make contribution in formal economy. And that's why you are seeing that change is taking place. I don't know whether you are aware or not. Last year, 2022, there is a Professor Kramer in Chicago University has been awarded the Nobel Prize on Public Health. So he came to India and he had done one year study. He found that merely 50% coverage with tap water under Jal Jeevan Mission. Already every year, 136,000 infants' lives is being saved. 500 children, infants, every day you are saving the life. It's not a small contribution. Because we all know that water and sanitation is the determining factor when it comes to IMR and MMR. This is the real factor. Even today, I think IMR is roughly 25 actually. 25 under 5 years of age, children in 1,000, 25 infants die even today. It used to be like in 200 something. But it means it can also further improve. Take MMR, maternal mortality rate. Same thing here that I think per lakh it is around 147 or so. So it can be further brought down if we ensure clean water, improve sanitation, improve hygiene, So what Government of India is doing, I'll take just a few minutes and then I'll stop. Jal Jeevan Mission is basically what? Clean tap water to every family. Idea is that provide all these facilities, house, electricity, cooking gas, water, toilet, Ayushman Bharat, these things, so that family is taken out of poverty. They have all the facilities and they should use their resources and time and energy for productive work. So when on 15th August this was launched, only 16 point some percentage. means out of 19.3 crore family, only 3.23 crore family, means less than 17% families had tap water connection. And after a lot of deliberation and lot of input and data analysis and projections, our Prime Minister decided that look, this trickle down theory is not going to work. 5 years, remaining 16 crore household to be provided tap water connection in next 5 years. It means now we have to see the enormity of the situation. I mean, I would not say that since independence, but last 20, 30, 40 years, 3.23 crore families have got tap water connection. And imagine every year you have to provide tap water connection to 3.2 crore families. That is the scale, that is the speed which is expected of this project actually, And you'll be happy to know that today it was launched actually on 25th December on Good Governance Day, which happened to be Vajpayee's birthday. So in almost three years, 1 month, today more than 11 crore families out of 19 crore families started with 3.23 crore families. More than 11 crore families have assured tap water supply in their homes. And idea is that yes, there could be some villages, some places, some remote, somewhere left out. But idea is that let's by 2024, let's try to achieve that kind of coverage. But more importantly, this project, what it is doing actually, that we have to understand. As you understand, in every village, if this kind of work is going, the kind of impact it has in rural economy. Because material, whatever used, they are locally, most of the material locally available. Labor, 30-35% labor is skilled, semi-skilled, they are locally available. So the kind of contribution it is making in local economy is mind-boggling, and people basically can move towards skilled work, masons, plumber, electrician, pump operator, all those kind, fitter, this thing. Second important thing is that in the implementation is such that village community has to be organized. So basically their empowerment is taking place where it is a 15-member committee, what is known as Water and Sanitation Committee or Pani Samiti. 50% have to be women and 25% must from bigger section of society. So basically it helps in empowerment, better management, and especially women who have got the highest stake in this system. They basically become owner, manager, determiner, they are playing that role. Every village, 5 women are being trained for testing the water. In Delhi, if you want to get your water tested, I'm not very sure you can get your blood tested, your urine tested, your everything tested, but water, I don't know. So what we did basically that more than 2,000, precisely 2,076 labs, the way we did it during COVID, same approach, same team. In fact, I share today because I was that side handling with ICMR this COVID, So same kind of team we put in the team, and 2,076 laboratories in the country have been set up where anybody can go and get his or her water sample tested, and everything is available on net. Same system. You give sample, you get your test report on WhatsApp or email on your phone. Same thing is there, and that goes in central database also. Like in COVID, test report goes in central database. People have to take action, whether it's hospitalization or treatment or this same system has been set up. And similarly, when we are training 5 women in every village, they are provided kits. So they themselves test water, but more importantly, they bring awareness among village about water issues, sanitation issue, hygiene issues, those kind of things. Then every village, 5 to 7, 10 people are being trained, provided skilling courses to become plumber, to become carpenter, electrician, pump operator, fitter, motor mechanic, that. So it means their income is going up, and these people are becoming available actually on central database, that. So the second part was that certain priority was given to aspirational district, because all human development indices in those 117 districts were poor. Like at national average was 17%, but in aspirational district it was only 6.75%. People had tap water supply. So we give that impetus, some force. As a good part is that in 117 district, overall national average has crossed 56%, but aspirational district it has also reached around 53-54%. Another example was Japanese encephalitis. You must have heard in UP and Assam, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu. These 60 districts, every year you feel that brain fever, this fever, and that children died. Their tap water supply was less than 3%, 2.75%. And under Jal Jeevan Mission, the priority was given as a result, roughly 51 or 52% household in these 60 districts have now assured tap water supply. Another concept was that most of the time in villages, rural area, it is the upper caste or powerful people who have the tap water supply in this. So here, no one is left out. Means the village has to be made 100%. So that concept has been introduced, and 123 districts and roughly 160,000 villages have become 100% tap water supply. That kind of inclusiveness, irrespective of your caste, creed, religion, whatever this thing, no one is left out. Everybody has to be, So that kind of, has been introduced in that. Another innovation has been done that I think you all have been in government are connected. If you want to success of any program, I think the beauty lies. What is the expected outcome? That must be measured directly. If you are unable to measure that output directly, trust me, you are not going anywhere. You are investing money and output. Forget about outcome. You are measuring it indirectly, some other criteria indicators. No. So here in Jal Jeevan Mission, what we did, tap water connection is the first thing, but water supply in terms of quantity, quality, regularity, and with pressure. So we developed sensor-based IoT device. And we are now installing in every village that data should be picked up directly by SIM, by Bluetooth, directly comes on dashboard. That water supply from this time to this time, so much pressure, so much quantities, what are the quality? This data, I can show it, but you can see it, Jal Jeevan Mission JGM dashboard. You click it, what sensor-based IoT devices, you will find that in that village, you have the data, that it is coming on that directly. So basically the focus is on service delivery, not on capital expenditure, not on only, yes, some kind of infrastructure has been created in that village. So that kind of approach is being followed. To sustain it, check and balances, that in every village, there has to be three partners. One is village community and Pani Samiti. Second is one NGO in the form of implementation support agency. That 6-7% of that 50 villages, they will be hand-holding, supporting. And third is engineering department. So there are three players. If three players connive, in my opinion, then only corruption can happen. If they don't, and in each group there are 10 to 15 people here in Pani Samiti, in public engineering department at that village level 3-4 officers, and in NGO 6-7, 8-10-15 log honge. Jab tak three players there, they are not conniving, I think corruption cannot take place. So this is the beauty of the scheme, that you are not hearing any kind of hanky-panky in this scheme, that has been done. Lastly, on Jal Jeevan Mission, you start digging deeper. You will find physical and financial progress, everything is available there. In fact, once the scheme is completed, a village Gram Sabha, a body has to assemble and pass a resolution. And the video recording of up to 3 minutes has to be uploaded there. That yes, every household has got connection. This video has to be uploaded. Second is that Panchayat Sarpanch or Pani Samiti Adhyaksh has to certify that certificate has to be uploaded. And third is engineering department. So it means they have to certify that in these 12 parameters, this has been completed. So it means there are check and balances. Government department, elected person, and Gram Sabha people. So that kind of check and balances. And to sustain this whole thing, we have created an ecosystem for knowledge-based advocacy. What we have done that at Kolkata, Honorable Prime Minister just inaugurated last month actually. We have created Dr. Syama Prasad Mukherjee National Institute of Water and Sanitation. So it's an apex level institution. Then we have created 2 centers of excellence. One at IIT Gandhinagar on water supply systems, because Western India was far ahead, this thing. And in IIT Madras at Chennai about technology. So these are center of excellence, and 5 professor chairs. One in IIT Guwahati, one in IIT Guwahati about water treatment technology, IIT Kanpur about data science, IIT Jodhpur about sustainability of drinking water sources, then Tata Institute of Social Sciences Mumbai about decentralization and governance, and IIM Bangalore about public utility development. Actually, so that kind of ecosystem has been created so that advocacy, policy making, all those things, research, and this take place. And then in this country, 104 knowledge institution. It could be ITs, NIT, Management Institute. So 104 institutions have been roped in as key resource center. They are for capacity building, training, and this thing. Then 185 reputed institutions who have their own financial resources. They are partner, what you call sector partner, like UNICEF, like WHO, like UN agencies, like Tata Trust, bigger trust and foundations, this thing. They bring their own money and see, but it's a dovetailing of efforts, basically, what we call making water everyone business. And lastly, for every 50 villages, there has to be one NGO or village level organization, self-help group or handholding. We call it this implementation support agency. So there are 14,000 plus implementation support agencies. So that kind of structure has been put in place. Idea is that you should be able to work with speed and scale. You should be able to ensure accountability and transparency. You should be able to a modern dashboard where any information you want to see, you can see on the dashboard. In fact, 11 crore people who are having tap water connection, their Aadhaar authenticated name is there. 11 crore people. If you go to any village, any village, just go and type the village name, you will get the data. You will start sensor-based IoT devices in those 100 plus districts where demonstration is going on. You will find that today, how many liter water has been supplied, what was the quality, even groundwater table, it is going down, or that kind of data is being produced, and it is in public domain. It is like put, to supplement all these efforts in water stressed districts and states. Atal Bhujal Yojana has been launched basically to strengthen community management in water sector. That people should be made responsible, they should be provided fund, and they should be taking initiative. Similarly, after the success of Namami Gange, 13 more rivers are being taken for water, river rejuvenation, and that is one big step which is being this thing. I'm not going to make more technical tutorial that countrywide aquifer mapping. See, once you know aquifer, that underground, what kind of water availability is there, or space is available there, or soil is there, what you call hydrogeomorphological structure. You can use this knowledge for recharging or storage of water. You can also use this knowledge for drying water. So aquifer mapping is a very, very critical activity which is going on throughout country, that we should know what is the hydrogeomorphology of your, strata. So friend, I have taken a lot of your time, and thank you for patient listening. I hope it is of some use to you. Thank you very much. And I'm grateful and thankful to Dr. Gupta and VIF International for inviting me for this talk. Thank you all very much. Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Well, you just heard a fascinating presentation, and I, for myself, can say that I've been much educated and informed. I mean, we have been talking about water security, and in my earlier work, we looked at water quite closely in several ways. Also had the opportunity to look at the earlier water policies. But this is the first time that I think a certain optimism has come in, and that is because of the achievements in a very short period, which are there for us to see. And I'm certainly going to go at this dashboard. So this dashboard approach, where you can measure things, where you can show things, I think that is a very big achievement. But more than that, I think is the vision which he outlined, and linking up with Swachh Bharat mission, with the Jal Jeevan Shakti mission, Jal Jeevan mission, And all that goes and linking it with health, with the poverty alleviation, with the economic growth, with general well-being, and also this law and order, that he talked about, that police firing that happened because of water. So it's quite clear that, and the fact that 11 crore families already have been, in such a short period. So 11 crores, and that's the target is about 20. So the whole country is going to be involved in it. So water is everybody's. All the 140 crore people are going to be involved in this. So this new approach, where everyone is involved in the policy making, formulation, implementation, measurement, course correction, and everything, and it is not and one mission being linked to several other missions. So this holistic approach that we have been talking about for a very long time, only in theory, but now I think it is visible in practice. And of course, it's a huge mission, and there would be a lot of learnings along the way. And the case studies of Gujarat and several other places that he mentioned is something that is very, very important. And I think the role of technology, management, policy formulation, participative functioning, all this is now reflected in this mission. So thank you very much for sharing this, and I'm sure there is a lot of learning from here, and there will be a lot of questions also.